Walk me through your resume. Should be pretty easy, and yet many applicants struggle with it. Hi, I'm Jeremy Scheinwald, founder of MBA Mission, and I'm here today to help you with a resume walkthrough. But what do you need to know about your resume walkthrough? Let me start with a not so great example, okay? And I'll use my own life, my own career. When I graduated from college, I moved to Washington, D.C. I'm Canadian. I worked at the Canadian Embassy, and I worked for the Director of Legislative Affairs at the Canadian Embassy. And he would send me to Congress to follow congressional affairs, tobacco legislation, healthcare legislation, military hearings, and more. I would write reports. I would get them back to him. He would file them, and he would send them to Ottawa. Now, hopefully you can tell at this point that I have bored you. I have told you way too much detail on an internship. I applied to business school after 3 years of work experience. You didn't need to know that much about the basic roles I had in my first internship. Instead, I could tell you about the progress I had in that job. When I graduated, I actually didn't have any political experience, but I wanted to break through into the political world. So I took a risk. I took an unpaid internship, and that gave me the foot in the door I needed. I impressed the legislative director because I was really detailed and fastidious in my reports on various congressional hearings, and he became a critical recommendation for me as I got my first real paid job at the Israeli Embassy. The Israeli Embassy, I followed a track in public affairs, and I was promoted to become speechwriter for the ambassador in only 8 months. That was just a fun, interesting, creative experience where I ... You can see I have moved through my resume very quickly because my resume is not a Wikipedia entry. I may have had those initial points about hearings that I attended on my resume, but those points were not critical to the interviewer to receive. The interviewer was looking for a general sense of where I was going, how I got to where I am now. So using my own bio, I hope you enjoyed it, you can hopefully understand that you need to put more of the weight on the here and the now, and you want to focus more on motivations, growth, change, and then at the end, put the emphasis on the major milestones in your career. And again, most of those are happening now because you've grown throughout your career. So maybe at the end you stop, you say, and that's the story of my professional growth and my professional life, but there's also another side of me, and that is as a coach and a community member, I've really enjoyed coaching basketball and hockey. I think an important thing to remember is after you've told your professional story and your community story, that you don't immediately go into why this school and why you need your MBA. You've got to give them a chance to stop, to ask questions, to breathe. Think about your time management, right? If you're in a conversation with someone, you're not going to spend 8 minutes talking to someone, giving them answers to the question they asked and others that you're anticipating. You're going to stop and you're going to try and have a bit of a conversation. So give someone the opportunity to get their questions in. I would say 3 to 4 minutes is probably where you want to go with your walk me through your resume response. Anything after, you're probably starting to drone on. It's not a hard and fast rule, but I would say it's probably a good guideline for you. I hope you can take these lessons and craft them and learn to construct your own resume walkthrough. And speaking of construct, you may want to check out this video on how to construct excellent resume bullet points.